James Holder, IFL TV, in association with MTK Global. I'm in the Park Plaza today in Vauxhall. With me, former WBA heavyweight world champion, undisputed cruiserweight king, David Haye. What's happening, Dave? All right?
I'm good. Doing here at the lovely Park Plaza Riverbank in Vauxhall to do a little media day with everybody, having a good chat. You know, it's been a while since I've sat down with the media and had given them a good once over after my extensive training camp. So it's good to be back.
Let's talk a little bit about that extensive training camp. I saw you probably, say, 9 or 10 weeks ago. You looked a lot heavier than what you do at the moment. Talk to us a little bit about that camp. How has that been?
Oh, it's been gorgeous. It's been absolutely beautiful. You know, waking up every morning with the sunrise, swimming in a beautiful sea, getting the sun on your face every day. Really does put you at peace, connects you with nature, and just sets your day up perfectly. Whatever you've got planned for that day, you're going to get more out of yourself. And training at the world famous 5th Street Gym was great. You know, Dino and all the guys down there really made me feel at home. Really pulled out all the stops to make sure all my needs were met in terms of training facilities, sparring partners, making sure all bases were covered. And you know, when training was done, it was also time to enjoy. So I wanted to make sure that I spent time with friends, that, you know, I was going to the movies, that I was going jet skiing, I was hanging out, you know, just doing fun things that in training camps you don't normally get the opportunity to do.
Is that dangerous in some respects?
No,
would you be guilty of overlooking Tony Bellew, the fact that you're comfortable enough to do things in camp? This
was all scheduled in. This isn't like I just decided all of a sudden to not train and then go partying. You know, I've always, you know, I wanted to make sure every day I was doing something that made me happy, that made me smile, that was fun. You know, whether it's going to a nice restaurant, whether it's, you know, popping to the Bahamas, whether it was, I don't know, whatever it was, anything was possible. And it's a nice situation to wake up in the morning and think, right, what we've got to do today? We've got to do a boxing session, we do a boxing session. What we got the rest of the day? What are we going to do the rest of the day? Okay, why don't we get on the yacht and go to Bimini, go to a little island somewhere and hang out there. It was just a really nice thing to do, and it was one of the best training camps I've ever had, because it wasn't all focused on boxing. Boxing gets boring if you're doing it non-stop every day, and you know, I'm 14 years as a professional now. I want to enjoy my life. You know, I've spent too many training camps suffering. You know, I've heard Tony Bellew saying that he hates training, that, you know, he's just horrible, it's dark and gloomy. I understand what he's on about. I've been there before, and after being there, I realised that's not the best way to do things. For me, I need to be happy. A happy athlete is a successful athlete. An athlete who pushes hard when it's time to push hard and switches off when he needs to switch off is an athlete who gets the most out of himself. And for me, I think I've got the perfect balance. Some may say, it's, you know, the traditionalists might say, what you need to do is wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, go jogging in the pissing rain, and you know, you're shivering. And I'm like, no, I'd rather go for a walk on South Beach, you know, in my flip flops and shorts. That's what I'd rather do.
Do you dislike Tony Bellew? In the build-up thus far, it seems obviously we've had the altercation, the original altercation. Has he got under your skin? Do you dislike him?
Whether he's got under, I'm not sure if it's under my skin. You know, he's a bully. You know, the fact that he's the same size as me, height-wise, frame-wise, but he used to campaign at light heavyweight. Why? Why would someone that big fight at light heavyweight? The only answer to me is he wanted to have the advantage over the smaller man. He wanted to be naturally bigger than the smaller man. You know, he was a cruiserweight as an amateur, but as he turned professional, he went down to light heavyweight. It makes no sense, you know, unless he wants to be the big guy, and that's what it is. He should have always campaigned at cruiserweight, but I don't believe if he'd have campaigned at cruiserweight, I think he believes he would have got found out. So he campaigned at light heavyweight and got knocked out at light heavyweight. He got knocked out by Stevenson, who is a big puncher, but he's 50 pounds smaller than me. 50 pounds. 50 pounds in boxing is a lot of weight, a hell of a lot of weight. He then got put down in the fight before last against Macabre, who's 25 pounds lighter than me. That guy wasn't a champion. That guy had never beaten any big names before, and he put him on the seat of his pants. and he thinks that he can beat me. The guy's crazy. But I like to fight bullies. You know, Derek Chisora, another guy, strong guy. He likes to bully people, push people back. You know, rough them up. You know, everyone knows what Derek Chisora is about. In my opinion, he's a bully. The reason why Derek Chisora and Tony Bellew get along is because they're both bullies. Just what they're about, and they like that intimidation, trying to get in people's heads and trying to. It doesn't work with me. It doesn't work at all with me. It bounces off. There's no way, you know, another human being can bully me. It doesn't work. So I've got these. I've got the equalizer, and whenever I'm put in a position, I knock people out. That's what I do. And Tony Bellew can try and bully me in the ring all he wants, but he's got zero chance of having any success whatsoever.
Tony Bellew spoke to IFL TV a couple of days ago. He was quite vocal, made some comments about a friend of yours, Joe Fournier. He labelled him a helmet. What is your initial sort of reaction to Bellew's comments?
Why does Bellew worry about Joe Fournier? Obviously, Joe Fournier obviously bothers him in some reason, some way, shape or form. He's obviously got under Tony Bellew's skin. You know, Tony Bellew is supposed to be the WBC champion of the world, the WBC cruiserweight champion of the world. Why is he worrying about, you know, a 9-fight novice, which Tony Fournier is? He's 9-0, hasn't fought for a title yet. Why is Bellew worrying about him? Obviously, he's got under his skin. Maybe the fact that Joe's got, you know, 100 times more money than he has. Maybe he's a little bit jealous there, and I don't know what his beef is.
Have you got aspirations to, if you do come through this, to look at Anthony Joshua? If you come through the Klitschko fight, is that the type of level of event and fights that you'll be looking at after? If you are successful,
100%. You know, I'm in boxing for the biggest possible fights. That's why I'm here. I'm a big fighter. I'm a big fighter. That's what I do. This fight is a non-title fight. Look how big Tony Bellew's fights were before he fought me. Very small events. You know, all on. I think he had one pay-per-view fight that was horrible. All the rest have been on regular Sky Sports. Fights me, biggest fight of his life. He's going to get paid 20 times more than he's ever been paid before. Good luck to him. I'm really praying and hoping that Tony Bellew is rock solid on the night. That his head movement, he's slipping, he's throwing body shots, he's giving me some angles, he's turning southpaw, turning orthodox, he's trying to box me, he's coming inside. I'm really hoping he does something special, because if he does anything slightly resembling to what he's ever done in the past, he's going to get so badly knocked out. It's going to be horrendous. It's going to be horrible. I really hope he doesn't invite his family to be there at ringside. You know, I'd strongly recommend him just keep him at home. Maybe watch it on TV. Maybe not watch it on TV. Maybe just wait and hear what happens afterwards. But I'd strongly recommend any of his close family not watch this fight. Don't be there to see it in the flesh, because it'll be disgusting and horrible and heart-wrenching. And you know, boxing, you don't want to put your family through that stuff. So keep his family at home, turn the TV off, maybe listen to it on the radio or something.
Talk to me a little bit about Joshua Klitschko. How do you see that playing out? Is it as clear cut as people are making out, or do you think Vladimir Klitschko?
I think it seems clear cut.
Threat to Joshua?
Potentially anyone could. Potentially any former world champion on their day can conjure up one big last fight. But I don't believe Vladimir Klitschko is that type of guy. You know, I think he showed his best against Tyson Fury last time out, and his best was pretty poor. At some stage he gets to a point where you go to the well and the well's dry, there's nothing left. There's a lot of training camps he's had. You know, being at the top for 10 years takes his toll on the body. Not so much what happens in the ring, it's what happens in training camp and the lead up to it. So he's had a lot of punishing training camps, and I think that's it. It's just run his course. When it gets to the end, it's the end. I think it's the perfect time for Joshua. You know, Vladimir Klitschko, by the time they get in the ring, wouldn't have had a fight for a year and a half. He's 41 years of age, coming off the worst defeat of his career. You know, I think it's the perfect one. You know, his word around the campfire is Robert Helenius is battering him in sparring. It's never a good sign. You know, Robert Helenius, you know, I think people know what level he is at currently. You know, he was at one stage a very good European level fighter, but now he shouldn't be beating up Vladimir Klitschko. He's been Vladimir Klitschko's sparring partner for many years, and the fact that he's easily handling him really does really sway me towards a very conclusive Anthony Joshua victory.
I think it could be brutal and it could spell the end of Vladimir Klitschko.
I think the end of Vladimir Klitschko was at the end of the Tyson Fury fight. I think that was the genuine end of Vladimir Klitschko. Whatever he does now is irrelevant. You know, it's like saying if Bernard Hopkins or Roy Jones have another big fight, is it going to be the end of them? You know, I believe their end came many, many years ago, and now they're just having fights for the kind of, because they love boxing and they just love to be involved in it. So you can't really judge. I don't think it's fair to judge Vladimir Klitschko on the result of this fight, because it isn't really the real Vladimir Klitschko. Just like it wasn't the real Bernard Hopkins that got knocked out the other night, knocked out the ring. That wasn't Bernard Hopkins. I'm a massive Bernard Hopkins fan, but I didn't look at that and think, oh, Bernard Hopkins just got knocked out by this guy.
Do you think Joe Smith Jr. would have beat a prime Hopkins then?
No, he wouldn't be good enough to be a sparring partner. No disrespect to the guy, but I think he knows that as well. Bernard Hopkins is one of the greatest pound for pound fighters ever to walk the face of this earth. But you could dig out, you know, George Foreman's one of the greatest of all times. You put him in a ring now at age 70, and you know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. So you can't judge people on their fights way past their prime. So, but Anthony Joshua's got to beat the man in front of him. He's I think he's for a vacant title as well. So, you know, he's the champion. It's a big fight, pay-per-view. He's got to get that dough. He's got to get that money. He's got to get that resume. He's got to get that name, get the scalp, get the Klitschko scalp on his resume. It's a great one, because remember, in 50 years' time, when people look back, people don't think, oh, he fought Vladimir Klitschko, but Vladimir Klitschko was out there. They just think, okay, he beat Vladimir Klitschko. He was a good boxer era. Bloody hell. Anthony Joshua's great. Look, he beat Vladimir Klitschko, Charles Martin, Dominic Brazil. But I guarantee the Klitschko name's the one that sticks out in 50 years' time.
Why should we buy your pay-per-view? Tell us before we go.
Because you should buy this pay-per-view because you're going to see one of the most brutal, destructive beatings of any human being on March 4th at the O2 Arena. And we've got a great undercard as well. You know, we've got a lot of good fights happening, so it's exciting times. And you want to see Tony Bellew get smashed to pieces, basically. All that yapping, all that big talk, you're going to see a bully get absolutely demolished, and I can't wait for it. And you want to be there, you want to say you saw it live in years to come when people are talking about how disgustingly brutal this fight was. You can say, I actually paid for it, I watched it, it was a great show, great night, I really enjoyed it. Horrible ending though, oh, terrible ending. Yeah.
Lastly, I forgot to ask you about David Caldwell. Obviously, he worked with the Haymaker camp. Do you regret any of the comments in the press conference and giving Dave Caldwell stick, having had a chance?
It wasn't so much I gave him stick. You know, I just said how it was. You know, he's put his fighter in a fight which he can't win, and as a coach, I think that's a bad sign. You know, although he worked me, he never took me on the pads. You know, maybe if I'd went on the pads for him once, maybe he wouldn't be taking this fight, because one thing for sure, with him holding his pads up like that, I would have ripped his little arm out of the socket with a right hand, and he wouldn't be able to do pads for anyone ever again. So for me, it's a bit irresponsible of him as a coach. You know, what's the point of having money if you can't spend it? You know, it's all good and well Tony saying, yeah, I'm going to get a load of money, but yeah, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with that money? I don't want to get all morbid and horrible, but it's how the world goes round, and I just hope it's what it is. I hope Caldwell's happy after the fight. I hope he doesn't blame himself, you know, because Tony made the decision, he signed the contract, and Dave Caldwell just has to be there in the corner to witness and you know, go with him to wherever they're going after the fight.
Thank you very much for your time, David.
Anytime, always a pleasure, never a chore. What's the new sponsor? What's it called?
MTK Global.
MTK, what's MTK Global? So what happened to Macklin's gym?
Macklin's gym has basically been rebranded to
so it's
MTK
still,
Global.
so it's still Macklin's gym. Okay.
Mac the Knife.
Mac the Knife.
MTK.
Okay. All right,
MTK
cool.
Global.
So it's still basically Macklin's gym.
Exactly that. Yeah.
So same place, different rebranding. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. Just was another company. All right, thanks.
Was that genuinely bugging your brain?
No, I was thinking. It's okay. I was wondering whether it's an upgrade or a downgrade of it, but it's the same brand. Same grade. Perfect.
Same grade.
Nice.
Thank you.
I like the Mac the Knife. One of my favourite songs. Bobby Darin. Fucking love it. Mac the Knife. One of my karaoke songs. That one. Mac the Knife.
You want to swing it about that a little bit?
No, you're right, thanks. You're right. It's gone on long enough.